What is going on, Tallahassee? We have made it to the halfway point of our final week of September here. Welcome to our Wednesday edition of FSU Weather. I'm meteorologist Jay Karstens.
And I'm student meteorologist Jennifer Collins, and it's been a hot one, hasn't it?
Of course it has. 22 consecutive days now hitting the 90-degree point, which, of course, just coming off the summertime doesn't really seem like that much of a stretch. But that is very unusual for this time of year, and Brantley and I a little bit later on will get into more detail about just how historic that might be.
Yeah, I just need September to just go away so we can get on to October, pumpkins, and cooler weather. That's all I need right now.
Yeah, I just want to be able to walk to class in the morning without burning up even. Like, I feel like it's 85 degrees when I'm heading out at 8:30 to head over to campus.
Well, then you get into a building and it feels like it's like 60 degrees
This
inside,
building is especially cold. I always
Yes.
It's like that dilemma when you're in the winter time here and you walk to class in shorts and all that, and then you need a sweater on when you're actually in class. I don't know.
But, you know, taking a look at the 7-day, it's not going to come up, but we're going to have some rain chances heading into the weekend. I know that.
Yeah, which
and then,
hopefully will help to cool those temperatures down just a little bit. We're actually below average for rainfall this month, which has been a pretty significant contrast to what we've had.
Another reason why we're so warm.
Exactly. We'll have some other stuff to talk about later on in the show. Some tropical updates, some interesting stuff going on out there with some storms basically dissipating and essentially reforming. Again, we'll go into a little bit more detail later on in the show, but for now, you are going to head out to the wall and give us a little overview.
Yes, I am. As we take a look at things that's going on across Tallahassee, looking at Doak Campbell Stadium, we actually see some clouds off in the distance. 88 degrees. We're keeping the partly cloudy skies because of those storms that are off towards the west of us at this point. As we take a look at the radar, we do see the storms just to the west of town, some lightning associated with them, but they are starting to die down as they're getting rid of the heating throughout the day. But we are left with a lot of overcast clouds around the area of these storms because those storms are starting to dissipate, so it may actually cool us off with the extra cloud cover. Taking a look at the bigger picture across the southeast, we do have a cold front swept across the nation, which is allowing for the moisture to bring in from the Gulf of Mexico and across the southeast, which is just dumping a lot of rain, especially for areas like Alabama, Mississippi, and Louisiana for these areas. So it does feel quite humid, especially with that southerly breeze coming up, which is the reason why our temperatures are still going to stay warm throughout tonight, 72 degrees. We'll get rid of the clouds throughout the rest of this evening. May see some clouds in the morning hours, however, with that southerly wind. It's going to bring a little bit more moisture in our area. Your 3-day preview, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, 30% chance of rain for Friday and Saturday. We'll keep the temperatures high as well with this less of a rain chance with 93 degrees in the afternoon. But by the time we get into Sunday, we'll amp up the rain chances a bit, but decreasing the temperature a little bit to 91 degrees for Sunday. Your weather headlines for today, it's going to stay hot throughout the rest of September, and your rain chances are going to keep up throughout the rest of this week and into the weekend. But we're also going to give you an update on Tropical Storm Kirk as that forms again in the Caribbean. So I'm going to pass things off to Jake for a look at our local.
Thank you, Jennifer. We're going to go into a little bit more detail here with our local picture, and the September sizzle continuing really is the dominant headline here. There's a legitimate chance that we have 29 out of 30 days this month getting to that 90-degree point. Currently, we're a little bit cooler at 88 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Some clouds off on the west side of town helping to cool things down off to our west, as well as some pretty heavy rain over towards Gadsden County. Winds are out of the south at 7 miles per hour currently. That's been a pretty dominant trend all day as well. We look at that satellite and radar in our immediate area, and again, most of that rainfall is off to our west over towards Jackson, Gadsden counties, pushing into parts of southwestern Georgia as well, so areas like Bainbridge are going to be a little bit cooler down into those 70s. Not any of that rainfall getting into Leon County quite yet, although some showers are trying to develop off to our southwest. We'll keep an eye on those as we go through the rest of the show tonight. Here's the current conditions around the Tallahassee area. 79 up in Thomasville, 75 in Bainbridge and Quincy, where that rain has recently fallen. The spots that have been dry today are staying in those upper 80s even past 6 o'clock, with Perry being the hot spot at 89 degrees under bright and sunny skies over there. With this southerly flow, the dew points have been in the 70s through the entirety of the day. Currently, this lowest point we've seen all day in Tallahassee at 70, 73 in Thomasville as well as Quincy, and very moist down by the coast, of course, at Apalachicola with a dew point of 79. Now you factor those two together and you get the heat index feeling like 101 degrees still in Apalachicola as we're approaching sunset in the next hour and a half or so. Feeling like 93 in Tallahassee. We've gotten those values up towards 100 degrees earlier on in the day when those dew points were just a little bit higher in those mid-70s. And again, that southerly flow being the really dominant picture here. Everywhere you see these northerlies or anything really different, that's where you have some of these showers trying to make their presence felt, like Thomasville out of the northeast at 5 miles per hour. Some of that gustiness with those thunderstorms kind of helps to mix around the winds just a little bit in those areas. For tonight in Tallahassee, 72 degrees for the nighttime low. Starting off with cloudy skies, gradually clearing out as the night goes on. We'll keep an eye out for the possibility of a stray shower or storm later on early in the evening. And as for your Thursday planner, waking up to 74 degrees tomorrow morning, heating up back towards that 90-degree point. If we get a well-timed thunderstorm tomorrow, we could see those temperatures fail to reach the 90-degree point. However, it is likely we get back into those lower 90s as we go into the afternoon tomorrow. 91 degrees is our forecast high. Afternoon thunderstorms in the picture. Winds out of the southwest, continuing that trend of southerly flow at 5 miles per hour. And here's that extended forecast. Again, a 40% chance of rain, but largely in the afternoon for tomorrow, continuing the classic sea breeze pattern here with the southerly flow really driving that in and out of the Gulf of Mexico. Rain chances dwindling down just a little bit for Friday and Saturday, and those corresponding increases in temperature are apparent up to the 93-degree point, cooling back down into the early part of next week where we may finally see that streak of 90-plus degree days, hopefully going to be ending, although it will only drop back into the upper 80s. Now to zoom out to the southeast, we got Brantley.
All right, thanks, Jake. We are taking a look at that cold front that's starting to drape across the Midwest portions of America right now, and it's helping cool things off for places like Little Rock and Shreveport. Temperatures down there into the 60s and 70s right now, so things are cooling off over there. Dew points, though, for the southeast, very high all across the area. We're seeing them generally in the 70s. Little Rock is one spot that's a little bit cooler, though, with the dew point because that cold front has already passed through, so they're seeing drier air there. The closer these dew points are to the actual temperature is how humid it really is outside. That's how much moisture is in the air. So anytime we get into the 70s, that's when we're in that uncomfortable range. And it's also why our heat index is so high across the southeast. I mean, just take a look here at Florida. Down in Key West and Orlando, 99 degrees is what it feels like outside. Tampa, 98. A little bit cooler in Tallahassee right now, 93, but still very hot. I'm sure if you walk outside, you will feel exactly how hot it is. And then heat index has cooled off some places northern and there in Alabama, Mississippi, and Louisiana, where they've had some rain showers to help cool things off a little bit. Our wind direction generally coming in an onshore flow along the coast, and then as you get farther inland, we are seeing some of these places that have different wind directions because either the cold front has already passed through, like Little Rock there, seeing a wind out of the north, and other places are seeing some different wind directions because of those rain showers and thunderstorms that are moving through. We have a lot of rain activity on the map right now, especially along the coast here. So along the I-65 corridor and west, they are seeing some pretty heavy rainfall, and that is because of a cold front that is draped across the area here right now. With this cold front, we're getting a lot of southerly flow ahead of it, and then this cold front will move across the area over the next couple of days and then eventually stall out. So the Sunshine State is the clearest part of the southeast right now, but we are still seeing a few scattered showers and thunderstorms in those areas. Over near the Ark-La-Tex region, they do have a little bit more rainfall there, a little bit heavier at times, generally moving west to east. So we are seeing some pretty heavy rainfall, and that's going to continue through tonight. And then tomorrow, we will see that rain activity start to fire back up again, starting along the coast and then gradually moving inland throughout the day. And again, that cold front will stall out after tomorrow's and then weaken and fall off the map there. So we're not going to see any cooler temperatures for most of the southeast. It's just going to be very hot and humid for the next couple of days. Tonight, 72 in Tallahassee, 74 in New Orleans. Florida sticking with the hot temperatures again for tomorrow, generally in the lower 90s for most places. Some places across the southeast that are seeing some of that heavier rainfall will see high temperatures a little bit lower than what they're used to, a little bit lower than average there because of the heavy cloud cover there, keeping things nice and cool. We're going to take a back over here to the desk here, and we're going to talk a little bit about the tropics now because of the tropical storm Kirk has just reformed.
Yeah, that was the third headline that we had in our overview for the show, the reformation of Tropical Storm Kirk. Pretty interesting time right now in the tropics. Things are a little bit quieter than we had a couple of weeks ago, but Kirk reformed just east of the Lesser Antilles and is going to pose a threat to that region starting tomorrow.
Exactly. So yeah, tropical storm watches and warnings have already been posted for those areas. They are up to 60-mile-per-hour winds in that storm right now. And that is a big change from what they saw this time yesterday, and it wasn't even a tropical storm at all. Yeah, it's a very asymmetric looking storm too. Much of those stronger winds are on the east side of the storm, so despite it passing during the daytime tomorrow, we could be looking at a lot of the worst impacts for this region as the storm passes off to the west. Eventually expect it to dissipate
in the high shear environment of the Caribbean Sea as we go into the next weekend.
Yeah, exactly. So we have good news there. It is expected to dissipate as we get into the weekend. They're in an unfavorable environment, which is good news for places here along the Gulf Coast that are quite concerned about all the tropical activity we've been seeing. We saw a peak of tropical activity earlier in September. We're seeing a secondary peak right now as we get closer to October. So we're watching Kirk, and also Leslie out in the Atlantic could reform as well.
Yeah, the remnants of Leslie are currently out in the North Atlantic as of now, expected to regain its subtropical or tropical characteristics. This is north of 30 degrees latitude, so this may be another one of those subtropical storms in a year that's really featured plenty of those.
Yeah, exactly. So the tropics still very active in the Atlantic, and the Pacific also very active as well, which is very typical of a season as we get closer to an El Nino.
Yeah, and this is an above-average season out there. We're already at the R storm. Hurricane Rosa is just off the coast of Mexico right now, expected to make its turn to the north as we go into the weekend, and could pose some potential impacts for the Baja California Peninsula. As we work into the weekend, we'll, of course, be keeping an eye on that as well. And the last system that we've been watching, thankfully, has been decreased to a 0% chance of development.
Yeah, exactly. There was one area of disturbance near the Carolinas that yesterday had a 50% chance of development. Now it's down to 0. So great news there, because any additional rainfall for the Carolinas is bad news for them right now. They are still seeing major flooding from Florence, even though it made landfall more than 10 days ago. Some of those rivers still haven't crested yet. They're still in the record flood stage. The water is still coming downstream, so they're still rising.
Yeah, often one of the unsung really impacts that are observed post tropical cyclone, direct impacts, of course. But for now, we're going to go out to the wall where Jennifer is standing by for our second look at the local forecast.
Thank you, guys. And as we take a look at what's going on here in Tallahassee, we're at 88 degrees with partly cloudy skies. It's allowing the temperatures to cool off quite a bit. And as I actually step on camera, it should be on the wall, I'm going to be taking a look at with the southerly winds. We have a lot more moisture in the air, so it's allowing those partly cloudy skies to stay in the picture for the rest of this evening, because we do have some higher dew points. Conditions across the Big Bend, we're looking at 79 degrees in Thomasville as well as 75 degrees in Bainbridge. They are a bit cooler because they have seen the rain, whereas areas that haven't seen it are a bit higher. 89 degrees for Perry as well as 87 degrees for Apalachicola. Dew points are high, so we have dew points in the 70s, which is indicating that it feels quite humid outside, and it's allowing for the pop-up showers and storms to pop up here and there. So we're looking at with these mid-70s, it's going to feel quite humid when you walk outside because the winds are coming out of the south. We have about ranging wind speeds right now, but the main thing is that they're coming in from the Gulf of Mexico, which is allowing the humidity and dew point to increase quite a bit, allowing the storms to develop across the region. We're looking at some showers and storms heading up towards towards southern Georgia near I-75, right around there, as well as towards the west of Tallahassee. These ones are starting to dissipate quite a bit, but they are leaving quite a bit of cloud cover behind them. Taking a look at the bigger picture across the nation, we're looking at the cold front that's swept across the eastern seaboard, which is allowing for a lot of rain across most of the east side of the eastern side of the United States. This cold front is expected to bring itself more towards the east, but it's going to stall out and actually not really get to our area and not really bringing us any relief in temperature. Tonight in Tallahassee, we're looking at around 72 degrees. We'll keep the cloudy conditions in the picture with that southerly wind. However, there will start to clear out overnight, and by tomorrow morning, we may see a cloud here and there, but we're going to have the warmer temperatures, about 72 degrees. If you're heading down the water, 89 degrees is expected in Apalachicola, looking at about south wind at 5 to 10 knots. Light seas, so it should be a good day to head on the water. And if you're heading out to the beach, it's going to be a pretty nice one. 89 degrees, keep with the partly cloudy skies, but the water temperature is a warm 84 degrees. So with that calm surf, you're gonna need to head out there and actually enjoy that if you are. For tomorrow, 74 degrees at 10 a.m. When you get up in the morning, and about 3 p.m. we're going to see the temperatures increase to about 86 degrees. But by the afternoon, we may see the pop-up showers here and there, and we may not even see the temperatures cooling off any if we do see some rain in the area. So about 88 degrees by 7 p.m. Taking a look at your week forecast, about a 40% chance of rain for Thursday. Looking at that high around 91 degrees, but by the time we get into the weekend, we're going to see the rain chances decrease a little bit, but we'll still keep it in the picture. We're going to bring temperatures up quite a bit, 93 degrees for Friday and Saturday, as well as 40% chance of rain for Sunday. But by next week, we may see a cool down with those 88 degrees by Tuesday and Wednesday. I'm going to pass things off to Jake with a look at the National.
Thank you, Jennifer. The heat, of course, being the big story around Tallahassee. A bit of a mixed bag across the rest of the country as we look at our national temperatures as of now. Of course, 88 degrees here in Tallahassee. But you see the effects of that cold front, both in the warm temperatures out ahead of it, this shield of rain across many parts of the southeast, and then this much cooler air behind it in parts of Arkansas and Oklahoma, where these darker green colors. That's a big area that we can detect this, as well as parts of Texas, where you even see some blues indicating temperatures in the 50s. Even some 40s are possible tonight in some of these locations. As for the dew points, this really helps to find where exactly this cold front is. This sharp contrast between the dark greens here moving through the Mississippi Valley, and then of course these lighter and brown colors that are often parts of the plains, with these dew point values down in the 40s, even in the 30s, 35 degrees in Kansas City. And of course, the shout out to Chicago, 42 degrees is that dew point over there. And here's the front for you again, a low pressure centered over the Arc-La-Tex region, as well as off into Quebec, just to the west of Quebec City actually. And again, a pretty heavy shield of rain extending from the Houston metro all the way off through parts of Alabama right now. So that's why you see some of those cooler temperatures in those locations, despite still being out ahead of the cold front. Zooming in on that, southerly flow out ahead, which is really helping to concentrate much of this rain in parts of the Mississippi Valley, really across the Sun Belt, even over towards Atlanta, where some of those temperatures are also down in the 70s. This is also prompting some flooding concerns. Of course, we still have the leftover flood concerns after the impacts of Hurricane Florence in the Carolinas, which is why you see these river flood warnings over here. And then parts of eastern Tennessee also in on some flash flood warnings that are shown in red right here, as well as a larger flood or some flood advisories that are really extending throughout many parts of the southeast as of now. We go over to the west, it's a completely different story here. Some rain in parts of New Mexico, some scattered showers over there, but otherwise not really helping to calm down much of the drought concerns in these areas. And you see the fire conditions that are off to the north, even in parts of Wyoming. So this is not just a southwestern issue necessarily. And here's that drought monitor to show you that. The exceptional drought still prevalent across the Four Corners region, just to the north of Albuquerque and in parts of southwestern Colorado as well, just west of Denver, seeing some pretty significant drought conditions. As for the convective outlook for tomorrow from the Storm Prediction Center, you see this area of marginal risk of severe thunderstorms. Some damaging winds are possible as that front continues to march its way off to the east before eventually stalling out. So some pretty big metros there, including Charlotte, Columbia, even towards parts of Atlanta. As for tonight's forecast, again, that front is clearly visible here, with some temperatures getting down into the 40s in parts of the Central Plains, even off towards, say, southwestern Kansas. 45 degrees in Kansas City, 48 in Detroit. And for tomorrow, again, that heat sticking around for the southeast and the desert southwest, but not really many other places in the United States. Only about 73 degrees in Kansas City and 77 degrees off in Dallas-Fort Worth. Now I'm going to step off and shift gears back to the rather extreme heat that we've been seeing in Tallahassee and many other parts of Florida really through the entirety of September.
Yeah, temperatures have been very high for September. Usually we see temperatures in the mid to upper 80s this time of the year. We've been in the 90s for quite some time.
Yeah, the average temperature for this month still, we're 26 days now into September, when you combine the high and the low together, is about 83 degrees here, which would actually be our hottest month of the year, hotter than any of the months in our meteorological summer of June through August.
Yeah, and the low temperatures have also been very warm overnight too. We normally have lows at around 66 degrees at night, and we have not seen a low below 70 degrees since July 11th.
Yeah, and that's, if you ignore that day, you have to go all the way back to early June to really see those levels of cool temperatures, and we haven't even seen a dew point below 70, or really below like 68 degrees in quite some time. So this is setting up to more than likely be our warmest September on record here in Tallahassee.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, we have 22 straight days of things being 90 degrees or above, so it's going to be a very hot month. And then that cold front we were just talking about, it's supposed to dissipate. It's not going to make its way over to us. It's supposed to just become stationary and then become very weak and eventually dissipate. So we're not going to see any cooling in the temperature here. It's going to be very hot, very humid for days or maybe even a couple of weeks to come.
Yeah, I was, apologies for my cautious optimism last week. I was really hoping that would make it through Tallahassee, but not quite, unfortunately. And it's not just here. Other cities in Florida may also be seeing this trend of actually having September warmer than any of the other summer months, including Jacksonville, Tampa, Gainesville, some of the biggest cities in Florida.
Yeah, that's pretty incredible. I mean, it's been very, very warm, and the only thing we've really had to cool us off are some daytime showers and thunderstorms, which we do see quite often here in the Sunshine State. We see a lot of thunderstorm activity, so luckily we've had that to cool us off most days here, and that's going to be the trend for the next several days.
Yeah, hopefully we can just get those happen a couple of hours earlier to offset a little bit of that warmth. Because we often get to 90 before 1 o'clock here.
Yeah, and speaking of all those cities in Florida, we now have a look at the forecast around Florida with Jennifer at the wall.
Thanks, guys. And you guys were talking about the hot temperatures. We're looking at the hot temperatures across Florida. 90 degrees across the map. 90 degrees in Orlando, a little bit cooler up near Pensacola, but they have seen the rain this afternoon, so that is the reason why they're colder. But like you're saying, September has been hot across most of the state of Florida. Dew points are high. We're in the 70s across the map, so it's allowing the moisture there to impact a lot of the storms across the state. So as we take a look at the radar, we're going to see the pop-up sea breeze showers and storms like we normally see during the summer. We're seeing extended into September. So we're actually seeing some storms off towards the south as we take a look near Miami and southern Florida. We're actually looking at those showers and storms making their way towards the west as we do have an easterly flow coming off, which is allowing for a lot of cloud cover in areas like Fort Myers as well as Naples. Forecast for tomorrow, we're going to look at another hot one. 90 degrees across the beaches in southeastern Florida, as well as 90 degrees in Naples and 89 degrees in Key West. We're actually going to take a look at the eastern side of Florida as well, taking a look at areas like across the side of Florida, this side of Florida, 91 degrees in Daytona as well as 90 degrees in Melbourne. For tomorrow, they're going to see the pop-up showers and storms similar to what they saw today because we do have a lot more of that easterly flow, which is fueling these sea breeze showers and storms. Taking a look at northeastern Florida, Gainesville seeing some of the rain heading off towards the north, leaving a lot of cloud cover in the area as well. Jacksonville staying quite dry for that area. For tomorrow, though, they're going to see another hot one similar to what the rest of Florida is going to see. 92 degrees for Jacksonville as well as 89 degrees in St. Augustine. They'll keep it mainly sunny for the afternoon, but for areas like Live Oak and Cross City, they may even see a shower storm heading into the afternoon tomorrow because of the sea breeze showers that are making their way towards the east. Taking a look at areas like Pensacola into the western panhandle, we're looking at some showers and storms making their way from the south to the north. There is a southerly flow in this area, which is allowing those sea breeze showers and storms to just develop along the I-10 corridor, making their way more towards the north. Some heavy downpours with lightning in Pensacola right now. Tomorrow's forecast is going to be another hot one, but we'll see temperatures not really making their way towards the 90 mark for the afternoon, as they will see the showers and storms similar to what they saw today. So we're actually going to have temperatures in the mid-80s for regions like Pensacola, 83 degrees, as well as 83 degrees for Mobile, Alabama. Forecast for tomorrow, we'll keep the showers and storms for tonight kind of dissipating as we get into the overnight hours, and by the morning we may see some mostly cloudy skies across the state of Florida, but by the afternoon is when we'll see the sea breeze showers and storms starting back up by the afternoon hours. For tonight, looking at temperatures in the mid-70s for most of the state. We'll keep the rain chances in the mix as well, but for tomorrow, we're actually going to keep with those 90-degree temperatures, so things are going to get hot, especially heading into tomorrow. I'm going to pass things off to Brandley for a look at things around Tallahassee.
All right, thanks, Jennifer. Looking at the big picture here, we do have a cold front that's draped across the United States right now, and that's bringing a lot of moisture to the area here along the Gulf Coast, a lot of rainfall, a lot of onshore flow there. So we are seeing a lot of southerly flow helping bring these showers and storms off the Gulf inland there, and they should dissipate over the next couple of hours as we get into the evening and they lose that daytime heating, which is helping to fuel those storms. So these storms will start to die off here in the next little while, and then we will see them come back again tomorrow once we get into a very hot day again. So currently 88 degrees in Tallahassee, partly cloudy skies. We do have a few thunderstorms out there in the distance, but right over Tallahassee right now, partly cloudy. It has cooled off a little bit there, so it's still feeling pretty warm outside, and our heat index is definitely showing that. 93 is what it feels like in Tallahassee. Down in Apalachicola, it feels like 101 degrees, so it's feeling very hot, and that's because of all the moisture that's coming off the Gulf combining with the hot temperatures, helping the heat index get really up there. Places like Thomasville, Quincy, and Bainbridge have cooled off with their heat index because of that rain that they've seen, so things are feeling a little bit cooler for them there, but still feeling very humid in those areas. Our current conditions, we have 88 degrees right now in Tallahassee, Perry at 89, and Apalachicola 87. Both of those places along the coast there, checking in nice and sunny. Thomasville, Quincy, and Bainbridge are seeing a few showers and thunderstorms right now, but again, those will die off as we get into the later hours. Dew points in Tallahassee, 70 right now, 79 in Apalachicola. That's why that heat index was just so high, because the dew point is very high as well. That means there's a lot of moisture in the air. It's feeling very uncomfortable there. That is oppressive humidity right outside. Perry right there at 74 for a dew point. Wind speeds, or wind direction actually, coming off the Gulf for the most part, except for places that are having those thunderstorms. So Bainbridge, they're in the middle of a thunderstorm right now, getting a little bit higher wind right there. Direction is coming mostly off the coast. Tonight in Tallahassee, we are going to see very cloudy skies, but then they're going to gradually clear out, and they will clear out tonight with partly cloudy skies in the morning. Heading down to the coast tomorrow, 89 along the coast, so a little bit cooler if you're near the water. High tide coming in late tomorrow at 6:39 p.m. It's going to be pretty calm out there. Seas only about 1 to 2 feet, so no advisory there. And the beach also looking very calm surf. The UV index, though, going to be high. So even though we could see a few showers and thunderstorms inland along the coast, we will see partly cloudy skies for the most part, and the UV index will be very high. So make sure that you do keep the sunscreen handy if you go down there. So tomorrow afternoon thunderstorms are possible with a high near 91 degrees. So afternoon thunderstorms might help cool things off, but we do expect to get up to that high of 91 tomorrow. And a 40% chance of rain for your Thursday there, going down to about 30% on Friday and Saturday and back up to 40 on Sunday. So temperatures generally staying in the lower 90s as rain chances. We have them every single day.
It's going to be a hot one heading throughout the rest of the week, isn't it?
Oh yeah, temperatures staying in the lower 90s. We're going to keep on with our straight days of 90 degrees or above. So we are at 22 right now. We're going to keep on adding a few more unless we have some really heavy rain to keep things cool.
Any outdoor activities that could be done with these hot temperatures, you know?
Yeah, I would try and get anything outdoors done in the morning because as we get the daytime heating, that's when we'll see those thunderstorms start to fire back up and then gradually move inland. So anything you need to get done outside, do it in the morning hours before those thunderstorms start to pop up. That's the best advice we have for you.
And keep water on hand, especially in the afternoons as things is hot. You may not realize that you're actually losing a lot of water in your body. So drink up because keeping hydrated will actually keep you cool in these hot temperatures.
Yeah, exactly. We're not going to be cooling off too much at night either. Staying in the lower 70s at night, so feeling pretty warm, pretty muggy outside at nighttime too, especially when we get to the late morning hours there when the sun starts to come back out. Another thing to note is if you're outside and it is sunny before those showers and storms come, the UV index will be very high. Normally by this time of the year we see the UV index drop down to moderate levels. We're still seeing them at very high or extreme levels on the UV index scale there. So definitely keep that in mind. Make sure you have your sunscreen, you have a hat and sunglasses. If you plan on spending time outside, you really need to protect your skin and your eyes if you're going to be out there.
Even if you're just walking across campus, I try to make sure to put sunscreen on every morning along my face just to keep things from getting too crazy walking across campus because it can be hot and the sun is intense.
Yeah, when the UV index is in the very high or extreme stages, that means that you can your skin can be burnt. You can have damaged skin within about 15 to 20 minutes.
Well, we'll update you on the weather and keep you focused. You can follow us on Twitter as well as Facebook at FSU Weather on both of those social media sites.
And you can watch this show right here or any of our shows live stream or recorded on YouTube at youtube.com/FSU Weather.
And you can send in your photos to us on Instagram. We'll try to post it on there. I haven't really updated that in a minute, but you can post it.
We will get on it, yeah. So send us your pictures and we will feature them on our social media and here on our show.
But from FSU Weather, I'm student meteorologist Jennifer Collins.
And I'm student meteorologist Brantley Kite. Good night.